the messages with Halle and DDG? Now,
Ike Turner, you know you got some nerve trying to make Halle seem like she the crazy one. Now,
Me and Aries too is that he had her fucked up. Severely.
Halle Bailey took his gun, sent hella crazy text messages, and y'all are mad that DDG is trying to get his son? Be so for real. If a man did half of that, you would call him abusive, right? But here,
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
Done now.
Randy, what are you doing? I got a call that Mia was down here in the hospital. She was hurt. You think the hospital, this is a game, Brandy?
You didn't have to do that. You know how much I love you.
Excuse me? Do what? No, don't.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, they made me do it. I didn't.
You're under arrest.
Officer, I think you got a motherfucker. You making a make. You making a
Please don't.
Now, Ike Turner, you know you got some nerve trying to make Halle seem like she the crazy one. Now, TMZ just reported that DDG recently filed a stop motion to stop Halle from taking baby Halo out the country, and he listed it as she's a risk to herself and their infant. Now, according to the article, it stated that DDG had filed an emergency motion to stop Halle from taking their infant son out of the country and claiming that she possessed an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their child. And this is because Halle is shooting a film in Italy and she needed to be there on Saturday, so he put the stop motion in today. Now, in his complaint, he goes on to say that the court shouldn't allow this because Halle isn't mentally healthy enough to care for herself and the child, which is crazy. He continues and says he's worried about what she might do if she leaves the country or the court's jurisdiction. DDG provided examples of an alleged conduct that he thinks is troubling, claiming that Halle once took his pew-pew and left the house without telling him. What? Now, he says that ultimately that he had found her outside holding it, and this all occurred while she was pregnant. He also claims that she wanted an abortion, which she should have had, if this isn't a warning to some of y'all out there. I'm just going to pause for dramatic effect. He says that she ultimately changed her mind. She should not have changed her mind. Now, in this image above, which I'm just going to redact with the top of my head, he shows an image of a gash, and he stated that this happened at an altercation in his car. Now, in the complaint, DDG alleges that she had become increasingly agitated and jumped from the back seat and hit him, and her momentum carried her forward, and she smashed her head into the steering wheel. Now, the biggest claim of them all is that he's actually alleging that she's the aggressor in their entire relationship, that she's the aggressor and that he is on the receiving end of her agitation, aggression, mental instability. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. And I feel so bad for her because she should have had an abortion. But we all know that these type of men trap women. So you don't know the psychological abuse that he might have put her under for her to keep that child, or spiritual psychological abuse. I don't know what their religious background is, but a lot of people use spirituality to force you to keep children. And this is why it's so important for women to get on the internet and share their experiences so other women can see this, because it is 2025 and we still have to go and do this baby mama culture with these very toxic men who trap very successful women. So if this isn't a prime example that y'all should wake up and have that abortion, I don't know what else is. And just like that, Halle is still going to Italy and DDG is still going to be live streaming from his basement. Now, yesterday, we have reported that DDG had filed a motion to stop Halle from going to Italy with their son. As of 6:42 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it stated that DDG's temporary restraining order against Halle has been denied. I guess he has to go back on Twitch and let the world know that he's a loser. Now, in the judge's ruling, it goes on to say that Halle is free to leave the country with their child for business and personal reasons. But we're going to rewind a little bit because after DDG had filed that motion, Halle actually filed a reply. Now, after DDG had filed his motion, Halle and her attorneys came back and stated, I am requesting that the courts deny DDG, and they also stated that instead of the request from the courts to grant me permission to take my son to the country to perform my employment duties. Now, she goes on in this request and asks the judge to stop DDG, his family, and friends from posting about their son as well as herself online, including their litigation on all social media platforms listed above. Now, she stated that DDG had waited till June 4th to ask for custody orders and visits with their son since the issuance of the temporary restraining order. So basically, he was trying to clog up the courts. She goes on to state that she already has expressed that she had struggles with depression, anxiety, as well as thoughts of suicide. And she stated that without having to show her doctor's notes or anything like that, that she did receive the care to address those issues. Finally, she finishes out her statement and says that she has been and remains to be 100% available and capable parent to their son. And finally, she states, if he was truly concerned about my parenting, why wait till June 4th to file this motion? Because was it truly about her parenting, or were you really trying to stop her from going to Italy? And was it really about control?
I do not care. DDG is probably the biggest loser on this planet. He tried to take them messages where it was clearly showing signs of postpartum depression, because you can clearly see that the messages were dated like 2 to 3 months after she gave birth to her child. Trying to use that against her to get the judge to take her kids away from her is just the corniest thing ever. Like, it's different when it comes to you because you actually put your hands on your child's mother. So what would you end up doing? Of course, that's why you don't got custody, and that's why it didn't work. But these type of men that I see just growing in the media are scary. They're like willing to do anything and everything to destroy a woman who literally called them out or exposed them for who they really are. It's scary. And I pray to God that he never is allowed near Halle again, because he really probably might do something to her that we all will never forget. Please.
Halle Bailey took his gun, sent hella crazy text messages, and y'all are mad that DDG is trying to get his son? Be so for real. If a man did half of that, you would call him abusive, right? But here's the part that you're not ready for. DDG's sorry little fans don't really know how to read the news. On June 4th, 2025, Los Angeles courtroom heard rapper DDG's emergency motion to block actress Halle Bailey from taking their 17-month-old son to Italy for a film shoot. Despite headlines implying a legal win for DDG, no ruling has been made. As of now, Halle retains full legal and physical custody, and the restraining order against DDG remains in effect. And since we know DDG fans aren't the brightest in the bunch, let me break it down to you. That means the judge heard it and was like, we're gonna come back on June 24th to continue to discuss this matter. That means the judge didn't believe the child was in danger. That means the judge didn't believe that she was gonna do anything to that baby. That means that on June 7th, she can get on that plane and still go across the fucking seas with her baby, because the judge saw the evidence and the judge was like, I don't really. But this video isn't really about court proceedings. This is about talking to young women and getting them to understand what a narcissistic abuser looks like. Sometimes the person with the calmest voice is the one who caused the most chaos. It's called reactive abuse. You push someone, lie to them, cheat on them, gaslight them, and when they finally break, you point the camera and say, see, look how unstable they are. Look, they're waving a gun. Look at these crazy text messages. And the internet eats it up because anger looks bad, because women showing emotion still gets labeled crazy, especially if they're young, black, and just had a baby. Cheating on someone postpartum isn't just a relationship problem, it's psychological warfare. It's betrayal during a moment they're already stretched thin. So yes, sometimes the reaction is ugly, but don't confuse reaction with the cause. When abusers feel their control is slipping, they document the fallout, they play the victim, they sanitize their damn image, they turn your pain into a case file against you. It's not protection, it's PR. So before you repost those screenshots and act like you know the whole story, ask yourself, are you seeing danger? Are you just seeing the aftermath of someone who finally had enough?
Halle ain't doing enough if you ask me. If you don't know a girl from Florida, get to know one. If you don't know a Florida girl, know one. Because, baby, what she said was very G-rated, honey. She kept it very Disney, very Pixar, very light, honey. Because, baby, me and my friends, we would clean the fuck out. You hear me? We would curse school, clean out, bitch. Clean takeoff, clean landing. His feelings would have been ultra hurt, baby. He would have never released those messages, honey, from what I said to him. Because guess what? I don't never want a man to think it's safe over here. It's never safe to play with me. It's never safe to play in my face. It's never safe to gaslight me, manipulate me, cheat on me, and think, and like, I'm the one in the wrong. Like, you got me in this element mentally, and you want to act like you're the victim when everything I did is a reaction based off of you. And granted, yes, we could have better control of our emotions. Don't let a man take you. That don't never, whatever. You've never been cheated on. That shit, never been cheated on. You really care and love the person and get him that all. That shit is traumatizing. Like, if you never been betrayed to a certain level of degree, the way this young lady is feeling, miss me with that, child. Y'all opinions don't even matter, honey. Because when I tell you what she allegedly did to him, okay.
What do we want Halle Bailey to take accountability for? How are we looking at DDG proof and immediately believing him? But when we looked at Halle Bailey's proof, we immediately said she was lying. If y'all really read what Halle Bailey said, she did not by one chance say she did not crash the fuck out on DDG. She definitely said that they got into physical altercations. She didn't say that she never did anything. Like, she definitely said she put her hands on him too. Halle Bailey is the example of every young woman who had a baby young, who baby daddy cheated on them and spazzed out. And if y'all think Halle Bailey is a crash out, I am so happy I'm not famous, because y'all would have probably thought I needed to be booked in the nearest mental facility when I found out my son's dad did that to me. Two rights don't make a wrong. Both of them are wrong to a certain extent. However, for y'all to make it seem like Halle Bailey is just so unfit, she's a bad parent, she just is all this other stuff that y'all saying she is, I am just so confused. DDG is saying that Halle did all of this, but he never publicly tried to get full custody of his son with knowing that his son's mom was mentally unstable. Y'all gotta understand that he also went to Streamer University without filing no type of motion, no nothing, right? Until it was time for her to go to Italy. Y'all, this is two parents that are in a nasty custody battle, that are literally going through what most young parents go through when they realize that the baby wasn't about to save the relationship. Well, I personally just think that a lot of y'all was just looking for a reason to really attack Halle Bailey's character. How much y'all think in the comment section, but they both wrong to me. I personally feel like they just both got flaws, and they're both wrong. Taking the side of the one who you think is the wrongest is crazy. But y'all cannot tell me that DDG is not being spiteful. I don't care what y'all say, he's being spiteful. Like, and this is when it all comes out, because it will all come out. I just can't wait until y'all have to apologize to that girl. I'm not going to assassinate DDG's character, because at the end of the day, that's not my place. But I'm also not going to assassinate Holly's character based off text messages, because if that's the case, DDG is a creep for actually breaking into her house. But can we say that? Do we know why he did that? Or is y'all just don't care about that? Accountability. Yeah, y'all just full of shit.
I hate you. You are the most horrible person I've ever met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down every time. And then speak about exchanging my son in a money deal for views. And that's something, I swear, that is something that a lot of these male streamers who are reacting this, DJ Academics, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Because you are a weirdo. You're a nasty, low-down, creepy fucking weirdo. You're a weirdo. And I swear, you be, let me stop. This is what happens. This is what happens day in, day out. Man does heinous shit to women. Men do horrible, terrible, misogynistic, just low down, dirty shit to women. Woman crashes out in response. Man captures that crash out, puts it everywhere for everybody to see, and goes, see, I told you guys she was crazy. She was crazy the whole time, and I was just over here being nonchalant. It's so convenient that this is the one that he decides to leak. She's speaking real shit. He's not responding to it, because he did that. Oh, somebody in the Reddit says, postpartum depression is no joke, and postpartum psychosis is no joke. Having children literally takes everything out of a woman, and I'm not even talking if they have complications yet. People are sadly his fans, and fans of his friends, and his friends will see her as being a bad mom, when in my eyes it shows he was a scumbucket who mistreated a woman on the edge. Men really impregnate women and treat them like cunts who aren't allowed emotions or breaks or love. Like, I'm sorry, but you still cheated. You still abused her. And that's what nobody's fucking talking about. Nobody's talking about the fact that he literally abused her. He abused her. She had postpartum. Even if it wasn't postpartum, what this nigga is putting her through probably was enough to make her depressed. Like, it doesn't even have to be postpartum. Nobody cares about anybody's mental health until they're gone. And that's when you want to be like, oh, rest in peace, like, nobody gave you your flowers while you were here, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody's speaking up for her. And they have the loudest voices on the platform, and that is tragic. That is so tragic. Please stop taking this to the extreme. Men will kill you and then ask you why you died. See, I see that this Reddit is having sense.
Having money doesn't exclude you from being a human. Or we acting like postpartum don't exist. As I read the messages between Halle and DDG, all I saw was a woman going through postpartum depression, crying out for help, while a narcissistic man made it seem like she's being weird because her emotional stability is out of whack right now. Are we gonna act like she didn't just carried and delivered a baby? Most of y'all don't understand that postpartum depression lasts up to, could be possibly 10 years. People joked about how she can't spell. I see a woman having cognitive impairment issues and isn't able to concentrate or make rational decisions. When she said, let her be his mother, that's called disconnection and detachment. And what really broke my heart was her explaining how she was going to end it all. And that right there is called distortive thinking. When you struggle to build a bond with your child, feeling no joy, no connection. Oh, and let's add in the fact that you have a man that's cheating on you, and making you feel like you're crazy while you're at the lowest form of your life. And as a mother that went through postpartum depression, as a mother that went through wanting to end it all, let me explain to you what she could have possibly meant when she said she's going to end it and he isn't going to be here to see it. I don't know who I am anymore. Nobody hears me. This pressure is eating me alive. I want the version of this life that's hurting me to stop. And in no way, form, or fashion am I saying this is what this woman meant. But as a mother that went through this, the exact same thing, that was my thoughts. And I did not know how to express it. I did not know how to speak on it. I was a young mother going through postpartum depression with a man that did not give a flying fuck.
I'm gonna FaceTime you when I say this because I'm about to get messy. I ain't even gonna lie. I got my ice cream right here. None of my friends just texted me back, so we finna talk. DDG and Offset saw Cardi B and Halle as opportunity. I ain't walked it like I talked it since the song came out. Halle and Cardi B are gonna be famous to my children. You know, like they don't have to do anything else other than what they've already done, and they will still be famous in the future because that's the Little Mermaid and that's Cardi fucking B. You know, I knew Halle before I knew DDG, and I ain't talking about that kids bop ass do it. No, I was fucking with still cool people in the world. Like I fucks with Chloe Halle, right? I only really started to see doo-doo garbage when they got together. Domestic violence will really fuck up your mental state, whether it's physical or emotional. And I can only imagine, because I got balls, right? So I'm not a woman, so I can't have a baby. So I can only imagine how postpartum on top of that is making her feel. Those messages, literally in those messages, she's saying, bro, you're not helping me. I'm crying for help. Like, I'm calling out for help. Like, bro. And it's so weird, the amount of hate that she getting, as if the messages don't show exactly what she said. She been saying she got postpartum, and she been saying that it wasn't taking care of the baby. The whole Twitch shit is really fucking weird. It might seem childish or whatever because they're literally fucking kids in the chat. But imagine you're dealing with, a real life situation and you got thousands of comments saying like free Halo or like, just weird shit like that while you're going through postpartum, right? You have to be a weird loser ass bitch to defend, well, really any man, but you have to be a weird loser fucking bitch to defend a man in a domestic violence situation before you even know what's going on. You are in any instance, believe the woman first, even if I don't give a fuck if nothing. It's actually if nothing. Believe the woman first because nine times, I ain't gonna say nine. 8 times out of 10, the woman is not lying. Niggas be crazy, for real. And you kind of got to know you on the wrong side of history when it's just men agreeing with you. When it's just men defending you. When it's just loser-ass, pick-me-ass women defending you. You got to know that something is off about that. I hope she get custody of that baby. Because a man that will send you a picture of your bed talking like that's crazy talk, crazy pants. That's crazy pants. And she's crazy pants too. But that is a product of her having a postpartum is a big thing. You have a baby, your whole shit is just changed. And so for him to even try to put that as like his defense is crazy. Like that's crazy. That's really crazy. The Cardi B situation is pretty simple to explain. He saw her potential and wanted to lock her up before somebody else did. He cheated on her throughout the whole marriage, and he never thought she was gonna leave because, he got her pregnant. And who was she gonna fuck with after him that wasn't gonna seem like a downgrade? Or so he thought, because then she went to go fuck his favorite football player, and now they together. Low key, him and Stefan look just alike, but Stefan just younger and he look better. My lore is long and don't think I'm just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about abuse and shit like that. Trust me, I know. And while you in it, it don't seem like it. But it'll fuck you up. It will really make you crazy. I just hope that she's doing okay, and she's not like, you know, really trying to, you know, because I think that Halle Bailey is really like a once in a lifetime like that voice and just her spirit in general is just once in a lifetime, her and her sister. So I really hope Cardi B too. I'm just like, shit is just crazy. Shit is just, well, really the Cardi B situation is really like petty and childish, but good for her though. She ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, queen. Fuck him. Fuck everybody. She needs to fuck everybody.
I get very passionate. I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right? And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. That's just the way I be.
Clap
Oh, hell no.
back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person, but if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry.
Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
Put it down. Damn! Appreciate the sub, Nay. She is a issue!
I you know. I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with? That's me.
Yo, and what's crazy is she knows. She know.
DDG really hit a new fucking low, which is honestly impressive because I didn't even think that was possible for him when he released those text messages of Halle at her most critically vulnerable, finding out he cheated on her 3 months postpartum while she was dealing with postpartum depression. And he really thought we were gonna be like, oh yeah, Halle's such a psycho manipulative ass bitch. What? No. In fact, that is so justified. So incredibly justified. You're a shit human being.
So DDG submitted these docs in response to some things that in response to her request to go out of the country and in response to some of the things that she had filed previously. He says that there are several instances that show all of these things that spanned over several years. So there's a bunch of text messages that he included in this doc, like a ton, photos of alleged like bruises he received from their physical altercations and different conversations that they had. But of the most alarming that he alleges in the doc, he says that on March 21st, 2024, Halle sent a ton of text messages to him. She was allegedly threatening to kill herself and suggesting that their son might be harmed as well. He says during this time she was actually driving a car, and he alleges that he was so scared for her safety because she had done or alleged and said she would do things like this to herself before, that he actually called her godmother because he was worried that their child would be in danger and that she was in danger because of this emotional state that she was in while driving. There's also an incident that he talks about. August 2023, they got into an argument of some sort, and after the argument he alleges that Halle took his legal gun and left their home, and he got scared again for her safety, and he called his mom and his mother's fiance because he couldn't find her. So he says that his mom came, found her. They found her outside of the home, allegedly still holding the gun, and she was emotionally unwell and incoherent and potentially suicidal then. And then there is an additional time, March 22nd, that he alleges in Atlanta. He says that this was the first time that Halle threatened to harm herself with a knife. She was texting and calling him repeatedly, and I do have some of the screenshots from the document. So in one text, she's texting him, and she's, you know, if this is her, these alleged texts, she's saying it's all his fault. She's saying, you know, cry about it later. And this is after she would have threatened to harm herself and not live anymore. And that's a repeated cycle in these texts that he's included. And he's responding and saying, why do you want me to sit on the phone and listen to you yell at me all day? You do this to me every day. And she says, I beg for your help. You know I don't have anyone. I'm actively suicidal and struggling. You know I've been running to the doctor every day for help, and you still play in my face. I won't make it to my birthday because of you. So this is just an example of some of the type of text. I can't hear myself. Some of the type of texts that were included in this document.
The fact that y'all saying Halle Bailey ain't the perfect victim, y'all would have hated me and my baby daddy. Mind you. My little fingers was hot because I was texting all type of nonsense. I was mentioning mothers, brothers, unborn. Girl! Talk about the not perfect victim, the villain. Shit. I don't know who I became. At one point, I was in the house sitting there. I don't even know what came over me. I was just sitting on the couch. I was like, literally, I was just like, it's either me or him. That's when I knew. I said, I need to get a restraining order. I need to call the police against this man because at this point, I was thinking about giving my son up for adoption because that's how, like, looned out I was. That's how, like, girl, y'all call y'all on Cassie and them ass talking about they ain't the perfect victim. They did this, they did that. I'm glad I wasn't famous when I was, because, yeah, y'all would have been on this internet calling me everything but a child of God and probably would have been right. I'm glad I went through my shit outside the public eye low-key, because they sent a little bit here on TikTok when I decided to share it, but girl, I was acting a motherfucking plum fool.
Yeah, about to go somewhere far.
I don't know. She said if she walk over here, you still on stream. She finna walk over here. She said she told you to get off.
You said what?
She told you to get off. She said she finna walk over. She's like,
You better be on stream. I just told her to get off.
She said she coming.
Don't tell. I ain't trying to get no whooping, bro. Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to get on stream today, y'all. Damn.
She coming.
She coming. What am I supposed to do? I think he off. You want me to get up?
I mean, we're still on. We gonna go get some food.
Okay. I'm about to get up.
Okay.
Damn, she got a knife in her hand. She got a knife in her hand. Put it down. I gotta go, y'all, before I get whooped. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the stream. I'll see y'all next time.
The reason that so many DDG supporters thought that his motion for sole custody and a restraining order against Halle was going to be granted is because they too don't care about their kids and have never been to family court to fight for custody of their kids. Yesterday, when I was on live, the DVD supporters wanted to fight me because I said that it was highly unlikely that a judge would grant his request given the fact that he tried to do it last minute to prevent Halle from traveling with her son on Saturday. I also said that his evidence wasn't strong enough, not that it wasn't true, but it wasn't strong enough to present to a judge and have them tell someone who they gave sole custody to and a restraining order to that they can't travel out the country with their kid at the last minute. It's also very clear that he filed this motion as retaliation against Halle, not because he wanted actual custody of his son. He was at streaming university, throwing parties, getting lit and flirting with girls when he could have been fighting for his son a month ago. And y'all are going to keep trying to argue that it's because she's a woman. No, it's because she did what a grown adult is supposed to do and take it to court the first time and fight for custody of her kid, and he did not. Now, I hope little Halo enjoys Italy. I never been, but I'm sure he's going to turn up out there.
I fear my opinion on the new information about Halle and DDG is going to be perceived as problematic to people. I want y'all to know I am human and I am your problematic fave. Don't put me on a pedestal, and we just about to get into this. I don't care. Dominique, what about I don't care? Because one, everything that I have seen in this new batch of evidence that DDG has submitted is the type of shit, if it's true, is the type of shit that happens when a nigga has pushed you to the point that you almost lose your fucking mind. And I'm saying this as a Black trans woman. And the reason that matters is that I've had a nigga have me to the point that I wanted to check into a mental hospital, to the point that I wanted to unalive myself, and I was not pregnant with his child. I was not walking around bringing new life to the world from him in the middle of shooting the biggest movie of my career, hiding it to the world because this nigga wants to play on my time, and trying to put out music, being separated from my sister for the first time. We're in the middle of COVID. All these things are happening with this young lady. And so, yeah, when a nigga pushes you to the brink, you may say some shit to make that nigga respond to you, right? And I want us to have a conversation. And I think this is a universal thing I'm about to say. This isn't based on me just being a girl's girl. This is universal. We are doing a terrible job of differentiating between problematic behavior, harmful behavior, and abuse. And what I mean by that is it problematic as hell to text your partner and say, nigga, I'm about to jump in the middle of the street if you don't text me back? Absolutely. But I've been there, bitch. I've been there, and I'm looking at these texts, and I'm looking at this girl texting this man back to back to back to back to back. And I match that with how I've seen DDG navigate social media, how I've seen him play in her face. He wanted her to be on the brink like that. That's how he controlled her. If you've been in an abusive relationship before, that's not just based on someone putting your hands on you, it's the mental shit that takes you to the edge. And again, imagine going through that while being pregnant, while working, while having to smile and keep everything up to the world. The shit that Halle is talking about is shit that happened once they broke up. That's what her restraining order is about. You're going back to before the baby was born. You want to talk about her threatening an abortion? I would threaten to send that child to the ultimate father as well, with a fuck nigga like you as the daddy. Yeah. Jehovah. Jireh, in fact. What is you talking about? And the mom talking about Apple tags. Again, problematic? Sure. And also, bitch, I would have been down there with Elon asking him to move a satellite to find out what the fuck is going on. Ma'am, you know your son. You know your evidence is behavior from a young girl that is going ziggity boom behind a nigga she loves and the father of her child. That's your evidence that the baby isn't safe with her today. So I'm gonna sit that there. That's my response to it. Cancel me, I don't give a fuck. It's what I saw is the shit that you do when a nigga is driving you crazy and you're trying to hold on. And sadly, you're trying to hold on to him more than anything until you finally break away from it. If you know, you fucking know. Secondly, as a strategist, DDG reminds us he's a valedictorian. Why would you wait 2 or 3 weeks after this young lady presented evidence in regards to her having putting in the application for the protection order, which was granted? And I don't know if many of y'all have ever had to try to apply for a protection order. That's some hard shit. It takes a lot. We need to talk about that. But you let this go for weeks. And you then, this is what you come up with? Text messages of her dinking out when y'all were together? You showing your bleeding hand after the girl said you had snatched her up, and we don't know what that's from. And at the end of the day, you presented all of your information, and they said it's a chop. So, the justice system said, no mama's way. And the court of Dominique's public opinion is, I ain't see you. Listen, this is why I don't talk too much when it comes to crashing out. I keep an extra set of Rachel Ray pots that can get dinged up. I know who I am when it comes to my emotions and my heart. And again, I don't even have a uterus. God knew exactly what he was doing with making me a trans woman, because I would be on these people's news. DDG would be hanging over that canyon while we thinking about it. Austin McBroom's ass would be right there with him. But yeah, but that people are asking me, that's my thoughts. I don't care. I think this is the shit. You can find text like that from me. Listen, I said, once Christian had did something weird, I put an Apple tag in his car. I had to process it. And especially, let me say this video went a little longer, but especially, hold on, I'm gonna make another video. Fuck this.
And that is why boy moms will never beat the fucking allegations that your brains seriously need to be studied, okay? Because behind every narcissistic man, behind every abusive man, is their trash ass mother who sits on the sideline. Not only their mother, but their family, who sits on the sideline and turns a blind eye until you decide to finally clap back. Because how is it that this boy, DVD, got to go on and do all of this stuff to Halle, trolling online, keeping up with all of these shenanigans, creating all types of drama with this girl? She never comes out really to address it or to defend or anything. Just lets him do all of this stuff while she's trying to just simply live life. And the minute that girl say enough is enough and I'm getting tired of dealing with this BS, so she went and took herself down there and got a restraining order with the evidence that she had. Now all of a sudden you've been quiet long enough. And I try to stay out of things, but I got something to say. No. You could keep it. You could save having something to say, because you should have had something to say months ago to your son. It is nothing worse than a boy mom who sits back and never holds him accountable. And it's nothing worse than a boy mom who sits back and condones her son's behavior, but then want to huff and puff when the woman finally gets tired and checks his ass. So DDG mom coming out here saying this is trash and she could go somewhere and save it. Now we come to find out and we start to know more that happened, and there was more to what he went on to say, being manipulative, when he said that he went over there to visit the baby when the baby was sick and she wouldn't let him see the baby. You showed up uninvited. You knew that they were sick. And then because you couldn't have it your way, you then proceeded to break and destroy property. And I'm glad she got that all on camera. I'm also glad that she's going to take him to court for sole custody after threats that he would actually abduct her child. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Learn how to hold your sons accountable.
No shade, but I literally, I want to say a month or two ago, I did a video saying why your baby daddy's family or your boyfriend's family is not your family. They don't owe you any loyalty. And when it comes down to you and that nigga, they're choosing that nigga every time, right or wrong. Now, a lot of people in the comments were saying, well, my mom-in-law is this, my mom-in-law is that. Cool. Some people do get level-headed women, but a lot of people just get women that take their son's side. And as you guys know, I made a video, it's 41,000 views right now. And it just basically talked about DDG and Dub act the way they act because the mom enables it. And this situation with Halle is very telling. Why? Because the mom contacts Halle, Halle contacts the mom. They are essentially co-parenting Halo, the mom and Halle. DDG is just like, oh yeah, well, my mom's gonna facilitate everything. I get them like that, you know? So then you go online to say you've been quiet for too long, as if what she said is far-fetched, as if what she said was a lie. And then that's when it becomes, now I'm not talking to you. That's just me. Don't text me. Don't ask me for a picture. Don't ask me for anything. Because I personally think mom should stay out of it. Especially if I'm really co-parenting with you. Why the hell are you saying anything? Why are you saying anything? When I put all my receipts in there, and you just gotta say something publicly just because you don't want your son character to be tarnished. Okay, so never call my phone again. Don't ask what your grandson is doing. Don't say I'm thinking of you, all that dumb shit. Don't say none of that. Same for TT. TT in every video, me and Halle, we're so close. We talk every day. But then she comes out and says that the devil is working hard, alluding to the fact that Halle is the devil because Halle is the one who put in the claim. Social media not the devil because that's y'all job. Y'all not talking about that because you could have said that shit before she put a restraining order. She put a restraining order out and you talk about something, the devil is working hard. You couldn't even say nothing when them bitches was bullying you. So no, you can't say anything. You could just be quiet because you can't even stick up for yourself, but you gonna come out and say something about DDG when she got all the proof that he done punched her and slammed her around and harassed her, vandalized her shit. And you talking about the devil is working hard? Ho, your brother is the devil. And he is working hard, streaming every single fucking day, terrorizing her. He is. He's working overtime to try and ruin whatever reputation she has. My son beat me in my face earlier. But like, yes, your brother is working very hard. He is. Like, what are we talking about? And that's just why I say no matter how close you think you are, how friendly you think you are with these people, family, girl, the moment something happened, they could know it. They could have seen him knock her ass out in the middle of their living room. And they probably be like, yeah, well, it didn't happen. I didn't see nothing. Same for Dub. You think Dub don't know what the fuck going on? No way. He lives in the crack of DDG's asshole, right at the top in the nook. He sees everything. He sees everything. He like one of DDG pubic hairs. He see everything. Everything. So you're not telling me that he don't know that they didn't got into a little tussle. So that's when it gets confusing because the friends are coming out to say that DDG is a saint. First off, they coming out to say that he's a saint and the mermaid is abusive. Which they better have some claims to back it up. But not only that, the brother comes out and said neither one of them have ever touched each other. It's too conflicting. And that's why you just need to tell your friends to shut the hell up. Because when you go to court, she going to have more evidence. All the evidence, even like the comments. All your fans that's antagonizing her, do you think that's going to be better on your case? Because she has all the clips of you going on there, yeah, I can't see my baby. And then all the people, free Halo, free Halo. It's stupid. That's why you can be cordial with their family, but if you ever want to be at odds with that nigga, know that family turn on you. Because they turned on her like a dime. And you know what? If I'm Halle and they grant me sole custody, I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking to none of y'all. Because y'all act like y'all didn't know it. That's why they should stay out of it. Nobody should have said shit. Especially in his inner circle. Not a friends, fuck friends. They do whatever the fuck they want. You can't really control you should be able to. But they a bunch of airhead ass boys. Like, Deshae, some unknown loser came out. Aiden Ross. None of them niggas have none of them niggas you can actually believe. They all got their own shit going on. So, they're not credible. The family coming out to say anything, now none of y'all, if this me, like, I feel bad because I feel like my baby daddy got to do some serious shit for me to put a restraining order on him. For him not to see his child. But if I'm Halle and I get to that point and then y'all try and play me, y'all won't ever see him either. I'm going to raise him over here. Good day. This is Spirit Kimberly TV, where everything is real and everything is spewed, girl. Opinions are like a-holes. So keep it cute or keep it on mute. Let's talk about it.
Have y'all seen the messages with Halle and DDG? Now, I don't like DDG at all. I think he's a clown. But the messages was a little crazy. And I done crashed out. Like, I done crashed out a few times, but saying like saying I'm gonna unalive myself, I have a knife, saying you're gonna unalive yourself multiple times, saying that the girl he cheated on you with can be the mother of the child after you unalive yourself. Like, that's not crazy to y'all. And I'm not defending DDG. Like, I think he's a clown and I support Halle 100%. But, like, I don't know. Like, that's just a little bit too much of a crash out.
Garbage has released these text messages between him and Halle, and I'm putting quotes because who knows, okay? I'm no forensic, person. I don't know if these are really from her or not, but let's just say they are. He dropped these texts like a gotcha moment, like, oh, she's really crazy, and all they show to me, and Aries too, is that he had her fucked up. severely fucked up. I've never had a baby before, but since I've had this weight loss surgery, when I say my hormones are up and down, bitch, I can cry at the drop of a dime. So I can only imagine a whole human coming out of me. Did a baby daddy already. A baby daddy. Oh, wow. Disappointed. I am depressed. And he do all that parading and internet shit because he's so internet. Yeah, you might have some crazy texts from me. Actually, I might have to call somebody from Flint that don't got shit to lose on your ass, okay? But nonetheless, text messages aside, him filing for this, injunction, stop the press, don't take that baby to Italy, is so insane to me because you want to stop her from taking Halo to Italy. Just so your mama can watch him. Because you're not going to be watching that baby. You wouldn't even take the baby from her when she was allegedly crashing out. She says, please take him, please take him. You said no. You were setting it up to take him on your time. If she's that unstable, why haven't you done anything to protect your child? You's a horrible father, Byron. It's just absolutely disgusting seeing all of this from these nincompoops, their thought processes. And at the end of the day, no man, and I mean capital M, okay? Capital M, a man puts his child's mother in harm's way any way possible. We have watched this man be so intentional and so calculated to get this girl dragged. We also watched him at a point in time be so intentional and so calculated to protect her image, to make sure she doesn't get dragged, to defend her. So he knows what the fuck he's doing. And my last thing is, once she decided to go public with this, y'all don't think she thought about her own culpability? Y'all don't think she thought about whatever text messages, whatever pictures, whatever she may have done to this man? She knows she fucking with an op.
So this is your Disney princess right here. Answer the fucking phone. Answer the phone. I'm gonna try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. Like, are you okay, sis? I'm not playing Daryl. That's it. And he clearly says, I just want to be left alone, please. And then she talk about, I'm calling for help at night. Like, the way she be trying to manipulate this man. So you're telling me every time DDG ignored her or did not answer any of her calls, this is how she reacted? And this is a person who wants full custody of the son? And let's not even get into the whole firearm situation where she literally took his, because he was not responding to her, and you can even see where he says it's nothing to play with. Like, he's more worried about her safety because of their son, and she has no, like nothing going on in her head thinking, oh, maybe I'm doing too much, or why am I even doing. Like, how y'all Halle fans gonna go and defend this? Because I see some of y'all talking about, oh, y'all never been in a relationship. Excuse me? The fact that y'all are still trying to defend her after seeing full-blown evidence, and the fact that he has way more evidence than she has is crazy to me. He has text messages, he has pictures of her, literally, this man in his hand. His family even witnessed the abuse multiple times, and that is why his mother also gave a statement saying that she was fearing for her son's safety, because it was getting to the point like she was constantly talking about knives, having knives in her hand while he was streaming, like crazy ass shit. For what? Because y'all are single and you just can't take it. Like, wow.
We're talking about a lot of the DDG and Halle texts, but the one that really got me was when she said, you ruined me. Because at that time, she was at, to date still, the most pivotal point in her career, like the highest of heights her career has ever gone to. She just dropped The Little Mermaid, was about to drop The Color Purple, and she was going through this. I can see how she genuinely was like, oh my God, I decided to do this with you, and you're ruining my life. Like, you're doing everything to make me feel like I'm nothing, and I'm a very big deal right now. And I don't understand how anyone can see that as anything other than a very valid, emotional, postpartum crash out. Because this woman was literally being treated like a Disney princess by millions of people. To go home and being treated like the shit on the bottom of someone's shoe by a random streamer. Oh my God.
I couldn't even read all of Halle Bailey's text messages because they were so triggering and relatable. It's so sad how men can literally just smash anything and not even care about the women they have at home. Like, just seeing her beg him to pick up the phone and saying, I'm going to unalive myself. Like, Men are so trash, bro. I hope Halle never goes back. I hope she finds better. I hope she does better because she deserves better, period. And this goes for any girl out there. Don't ever go back to someone who made you feel like you wasn't worthy of love, especially when you did nothing but give them love. They deserve nothing because they are nothing.
Now, don't come for me because I'm not a mom, but I do know a lot of moms and been around a lot of moms. And I know for a fact that postpartum is very, very crazy. What's that? Oh, okay, I thought that was my stomach. But anyways, postpartum is very, very crazy. And it just seems that postpartum, Halle Bailey was going through that because the text messages, that's what it was giving to me. It was giving, she was frustrated, and Halle Bailey and DDG, DVD, that's what some people are calling him, was basically throwing rock. No. Halle Bailey was throwing rocks and hiding her hands, and DDG was also doing the same thing. And in my opinion, those are two very young people who had no business creating life, creating a family, you know, having a child together. Because DDG is very internet. He likes to put everything on the internet so people can see, because that's how he makes his money, and I don't blame him for that. And I believe that they came together and had a baby because DDG saw some sort of benefit out of having a child with her being the Disney princess. And around the time that she was getting with DDG, a lot of people did warn her about it because we just felt like she could have done better, right? Hell, she could have basically tried to date even the guy that was her co-star in the movie, but then again, we don't know whether or not he liked her or they even liked each other. But in my opinion, I'm so over a lot of like very wealthy, popular black artists going back, or talents, black talented actors and actresses and artists going backwards and picking someone from who is not in their level to have children with and or to get married to. Because at the end of the day, it always seems like look at Keke Palmer, for example, and Sky Jackson, and then now her, the Little Mermaid. In my opinion, they have access to men of higher caliber, but then they choose to play in dirt. And not to say that, you know, those guys didn't have anything going for them, but those ladies were not in the same category of those men that they had children with. In my opinion, I believe in marrying up, and I believe in, you know, dating up and try to do better for your next generation to come, because at the end of the day, that is the only way you can get yourself out of that, is either marrying into it and or try to pull yourself out of it yourself. But if we keep going back as society, this is what we're going to always get. We're going to get the Sky Jacksons of the world and the Keke Palmers of the world who decide to date someone who is either making less money than them, who is in a lower position than them, because then at the end of the day, men does not respect you if, for example, you're making more money than them and or you have a higher status. And I think DDG was trying to bring Halle to his level, and if not, try to humble her, because we were all trying to tell her that she was too good for him and that he was going to drag her down to his level. And in my opinion, it's not because that he doesn't have the money, because let's get it straight. This man is not broke. He's not broke. He's not like he's going through it in life financially and all that. He's not broke. But in my opinion, this man, he's a YouTuber, for crying out loud, and she is Little Mermaid. She is Halle Bailey, and in my opinion, she have a higher status than he does. And look at what she's going through now, because she decided to stoop lower and get with someone who, for one, did not respect her, didn't see her as higher than, and or did not give her the respect that she deserved as Little Mermaid, as the mother of his child, period. Not even if she wasn't even Little Mermaid. Maybe she could have been a lawyer and he was maybe the fry cook from Bojangles. Who knows? And nothing wrong against the fry cooks, but in my opinion, they're not in the same level. And he would have still treated her the same. That's like giving an ugly man a chance, right? And then he starts treating you like you're nothing, try to humble you kind of thing, right? Because in my opinion, yes, Halle Bailey is not innocent either. She seems like she's like one of those cute girls with soft voice, but then behind the scenes, she's a complete terror, basically destroying the whole house, you know, with her mouth, with her behavior and all of that stuff. And from what she was saying, even in her own words, she's saying that, look, if I have to snap, to get my ways, I will do that. And it gives off like I'm going to do that. But in the text messages that you guys just listened to other people reading, she seemed like she was already going through it so much, like she was at her breaking point. But also it seems like there's a whole lot of just regular, fresh, young relationship type jealousy, you know, of him sleeping with somebody else and, you know, him having other people on his shows. But then again, you knew what you were getting yourself into. Because I remember she made a video one time saying that, you know, she used to watch DDG when she was in the rooms with Beyonce's of the world and stuff, but she used to watch DDG and she was a fan of him. And from there on, she should have knew that, okay, I'm not in his level. You know what I mean? You could be friends with this person, but doesn't mean you have to create a life. And I think a lot of time people, it seems like, you know, they cannot even get into a relationship with someone without creating a life. Like, you can be with someone and enjoy the time with them and not have a baby, because at the end of the day, I think they're going to be tied together for the rest of their life, because at the end of the day, they do have a child together, they are parenting together. And yes, what happened to them is unfortunate, and I'm glad that, you know, they are apart now, because I feel like they are better apart than together, because ever since the baby been in the picture, this relationship have been problematic. It's been a problem. And for her, I think they both are problematic. They're both immature and problematic, and I think Halle just has a better way of hiding it, because she just like to pretend as though she's this perfect little girl, but she's really not. Because in my opinion, we all have been telling her about this, and then she tried to play in our face and said that, oh, you know, don't make fun of her when she was pregnant, her nose was spreading, which we all know, you know, when you get pregnant, your nose does spread and it just looked different. And she was basically trying to tell us in our face that, you know, oh, don't play with me like that, you know, I'm a black woman, da 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 da. She was basically trying to gaslight people into thinking that she wasn't pregnant when she was really pregnant, right? And then try to basically say that, oh, people basically force her to expose her baby. No, your man forced you to expose your baby because he wanted to put the baby in every video that he was doing. So therefore it wasn't us. But we saw right through the BS when the relationship first started. But you're trying to get people out of your relationship business, which I understand, which shouldn't be in your business in the first place. But if it's out there on the internet, it's our business to depict and, you know, talk about however we want, you know, because it's on the internet and you want us to talk about it. But in my opinion, I think Halle is not innocent in this whole thing either. But at the end of the day, it's the child that's going to have to deal with this later on, because everything that is on the internet doesn't go away. And I think at the end of the day, everything that was happening with the GUN and everything else with the knife and everything, I think she was just going through it after she done gave birth. I think she was just going through it as a new mom, and this man was not, I don't think she was able to get through to him, and I think that was the last straw for her to text those things so she could see if she could get through to him. And if, for example, he does get, you know, full custody, which I highly doubt, but if she does get it, I hope they're able to come together and have an understanding. If not, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the child that's going to suffer in all of this, because the child will grow up and eventually see stuff like this on the internet about his parents, and it's going to hurt. I'm sure it's gonna hurt to see that his dad did something like this to his mom, and also his mom did something like this to his dad, because at the end of the day, those are his parents and you have to deal with them. But people are talking about this as if like they've never gone through this before, and or there are men out here who are trying to defend DDG, knowing that they're the same kind of men. They do the same exact thing to their girl and then try to gaslight them, making them feel as though they're crazy because they're going through postpartum or whatever situation that they're going through. You're trying to gaslight them into thinking that, you know, they are doing something wrong, even though the whole time you're the problem. It gives very much DDG is the problem, but also Halle Bailey is also not the solution either. She also adds gas to the flame, you know what I mean, to make it more. And then try to hide her hand and make it seem as though she's this perfect little angel, perfect little Disney princess, but she's really not. She be pushing buttons too. It seems like she be pushing buttons, and this is all in my opinion. But I think this is going to be really, really hard. And I think eventually we're not going to the baby at all on the internet because they're going to make a decision to keep the baby off the internet. I hope the court tell them that they need to do that because this is getting too much. It's getting to the point where it seems like it's like an Offset and Cardi B kind of thing, because at the end of the day, a lot of celebrities, they might not admit it, but a lot of times they like the attention, even though whether it's good or bad attention, because all attention is good attention to them. So in my opinion, this could be like a publicity kind of thing because they want more attention on themselves. I don't know, but that's the wrong way to do it.